Hello, I'm Jim Roberts. I'm the host of Senior Living in Alexandria. We're back. We're glad to be with you. And we are here once again on our monthly series. We're here to present information to not only seniors, but family, friends, caregivers, those who care about seniors, and try to present as much as we can useful information. It's my great privilege to have with me as a friend and a very important part of the nonprofit activity in Alexandria, and she's been very helpful, but she's here tonight to tell us a little bit about what her organization does. So I'd like to introduce Marion Brunken, who's the Executive Director of Volunteer Alexandria. Good.
Thank you, Jim.
Glad to have you with me.
Thanks for having me.
And let's start with, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you wind up at Volunteer Alexandria?
Well, it started all almost 20 years ago now.
Okay.
I came to the United States and kind of started as an intern with Greater DC Cares, and I'm actually a social worker by trade.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, well, if I start volunteering, then maybe I get my foot in the door, and that's how it all started, really. So I worked there for 5 years, then I had 8 years at Freddie Mac, and then I got laid off because things were difficult back then at Freddie Mac, and enjoyed my summer, but then this opportunity came up, and now I'm the executive director since 2012.
Okay. What attracted you to Volunteer, other than that it was a job? What do you like about the job?
Well, it fits me perfectly.
And good. Tell us more.
It fits me perfectly. It really does. It has challenges every day, but mostly I work with people. I work with volunteers, and I work with great nonprofits that need help. And I'm a problem solver. I'm a social worker, so I have this need of helping others.
Okay.
So it's perfect for me because I can help those who really want to volunteer and give back, and I can help those nonprofits or community needs by fulfill their mission by connecting people, and that's who Volunteer Alexandria is.
Perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how was it when you founded, and what's it like today, and how many, what's your basic mission, and how does it work? That's a lot of questions.
Yeah. So let's start with one. As you know, Alexandria is a great place. So we were established in 1980. And Marion van Lendingham was the first director, because some of the councils thought, well, now you're done with your period. What about a volunteer center? I think we need one. So she was the first director.
Okay.
So here we are 35 years later. Last year we celebrated our 35th. We still have the same mission, of vision of we want all people involved in community service to make our community stronger.
Perfect.
And we help to mobilize and inspire people to make a difference in Alexandria.
Give us some sense of numbers of organizations or individuals involved, or some scope of the organization.
So back in the days where technology was not as great, so we actually had a lot of people walking in and asking for, hey, I want to volunteer, what can I do? So that has changed all technology. So we are actually hands-on network affiliate, which is really great. That means we are part of a bigger network. In case we do need help in certain areas, we do have that support. But so we do use a platform where people just enter volunteering in Alexandria, we pop up. So that means they can just type in seniors and they can find us. So a lot of people use the system. So that means we see a huge increase. We have thousands of people visiting our website. And in 2015, we actually had 2,500 people really register for a project. So that was really good numbers. So you can use it through Facebook as well. But so, repeat your question again, the second one?
Well, I was just trying to get some measure of numbers of organizations that you might place people. Yeah.
So we focus on Alexandria, and not only to nonprofits, but also community events like First Night, Art on the Avenue, Irish Festival, things like that. So we have hundreds of entities in our system that use our system to promote, recruit volunteers. Some of them actually use our system to track their volunteers. So if you don't have a system, we allow to use it in a way that you can track it, which is really unique.
So somebody comes into Alexandria, they decide I've got some time or I've got some skills, I'd like to do a volunteer activity. They go online and maybe put in a search engine volunteer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They may put in some other things as well, and then you emerge as a intersection.
We're like a broker.
Right. Okay.
We are
That's
like a
good.
broker between everybody who needs volunteers and those who are looking for volunteering.
Do you have a placement rate? I mean, are you able to place everybody that would be in contact with you?
Because we are like a broker, we don't necessarily know who else was all placed or why weren't they placed. There's numerous reasons why people check us out, they register, so they're interested, but then they don't follow through. And we only know this if nonprofits go back in the system and enter who's confirmed, who's not.
Okay.
So, and that's always, edgy because of timing. However, we do know that we had, as I said, 2,500 people did register. We had thousands of people going to our website, and we had about 37,000 volunteer slots.
Oh.
That's huge. That's a huge number.
It's very huge, yeah.
Yes. And that means from one-time events to long-term mentoring, landscaping, delivering meals, everything. Board service, grant writers, everything.
So you have to understand the needs of the organization to some degree of detail. It's not just XYZ organization would like volunteers. You have to know the duration of the assignment, what skills are required, you have to be able to match all that up, not just simple yes, no, I'll show up.
Actually, Jim, the good thing is because of technology, I don't. Now, we do go in this system because we want to know what's going on. So we do this, and we still have this great feature of the hot list. And the hot list is basically, we run every single week the new activities that the nonprofits entered, a new activity for that week or that month, whatever. So we take it and put it on a hot list and send to the media. So when you actually open the Washington Post and you see the Arlington, Alexandria volunteer needs, that's often us putting that in. So otherwise, it's really up to the nonprofit to enter their activities. Now, we train them. We train them on, here's how you do it, because the description is really important. It's just like you go to a restaurant. If a volunteer knows they want chicken, it depends how you describe the chicken. Because if you order the chicken, let's say curry, yellow curry chicken, you expect yellow curry chicken. So we teach the nonprofits, here's how you do the posting. This is really good. Here's how you can describe it if you want to ask a millennial, or if you ask somebody who is seasoned, 55 and older. Depends who your audience is, nonprofit, that's how you should write your description. Because we see some nonprofits not being successful. So we look at it and say, why is this? Let me help you. So and it's often the description, or they don't have as many details. Personally, I'm a type A person, so I want to know as much as I can from that description, so I know exactly what I expect. I don't want to ever go to a nonprofit or to an activity. Well, by the way, we ask you to come every day. Oh, by the way, you need to do this background check. And by the way, you need to send a resume. Tell me this all beforehand.
Is there a fee for your services?
It's funny that you ask. Right now, there is not, no. No, there is not.
You say
not
that,
for
do you
nonprofits.
contemplate doing that?
Economy and things change, so we may, but right now, no, it's a free service. You can use our system at no cost. We do the training at no cost. We provide excellent customer service at no cost and help you with that.
We're going to have to hold that. When we come back, we have to go to a break. When we come back, we really want to probe a little deeper on specifically how you work with seniors. So
sounds great.
Save that thought. We'll be right back.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex with Senior Services. Here is our March community calendar. Are you looking for an enjoyable evening at the theater? Check out Little Theater of Alexandria's production of the complete works of William Shakespeare. It is a fun way to experience all of Shakespeare's 37 plays in only 97 minutes. This production was London's longest-running comedy for 9 years. Join these madcap men in tights as they weave their wicked way through all of Shakespeare's comedies, histories, and tragedies in one wild ride that will leave you breathless and helpless with laughter. If you either love or hate Shakespeare, you will like the play. For tickets and more information, go to littletheaterofalexandria.com or call 703-683-5778. Spring is coming. It's time to get moving. Here are some exercise activities you can participate in. The YMCA has classes designed specifically for seniors, from water aerobics to senior chair yoga to senior size or Zumba. There is something for everyone. The Y is located at 430 East Monroe Avenue in Alexandria, and the phone number is 703-838-8085. Their website is listed on the screen below. Senior Services is co-sponsoring a speaker series with AARP on Life Reimagined, looking for how to make your life more rewarding and fulfilling by finding out what motivates you. You can find your challenges or passions in the golden year, too. The event is taking place on Wednesday, March 16th at the Bethel Hebrew Congregation on Seminary Road from 10 a.m. to noon. Registration is free with light refreshments. You can RSVP at our website, seniorservicesalex.org, or call 703-836-4414, extension 110. You don't want to miss this one. If you're looking for volunteer opportunities, Senior Services is looking for volunteers to deliver Meals on Wheels or groceries to seniors. It is a way to make a difference in somebody's life. Go to seniorservicesalex.org to get more information and fill out a volunteer application. For other volunteer opportunities in the city, go to Volunteer Alexandria's website at handsonconnect.volunteeralexandria.org. I hope you enjoyed the month of March.
Old hula hoop, you put your legs about a little more than shoulder width apart. Hands on your hips. You're going to twist your hips around, just rotating your hips. That loosen up all your hip muscles. Okay? You feel that?
I do. I really do.
Okay, now you're going to go back the other way, the opposite way.
It's harder.
Rotate your
This
leg.
is harder.
All right, good. Now you want to relax your shoulders. Now we're going to work on the shoulders. Relax your shoulders. You're going to push your shoulders down, forward, down, then push them forward, up, back, and rotate around. Good. Down, forward, up, and rotate around.
That's good.
Good. And you want to then you do the opposite way. Put your shoulders back, up, forward, and down. Go back, up, forward, and down.
That's a good one.
Right.
Well, we're almost out of time.
Okay.
So I want to thank you for showing us these stretches. And how often should people do these? Once a day?
Yeah, once a day.
Okay.
Once you wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
a good stretch. Even at night, we have want to stretch before you go to bed.
Okay.
You know, to keep you loose for the next day.
Okay. All righty. Well, thanks. This has been Fitness with Rodney, and we'll see you next month.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
All right. Good.
Welcome back to the Book of the Month Club. My name is Alex Garcia, and this month's book is Winter Solstice by Rosamund Pilcher. Her captivating bestseller of Loss and the Healing Power of Love, now reissued with a stunning new jacket look. Elfrida Phillips loves her new life in the pretty village of Hampshire. She has a tiny cottage, her faithful dog Horace, and the friendship of a neighboring Blundell's, particularly Oscar, to ensure that her days include companionship as well as independence. But an unforeseen tragedy upsets Elfrida's tranquility. Oscar's wife and daughter are killed in a terrible car crash, and he finds himself homeless when his stepchildren claim their dead mother's inheritance. Oscar and Elfrida take refuge in a rambling house in Scotland, which becomes a magnet for various waifs and strays who converge upon it, including an unhappy teenage girl. It could be a recipe for disaster, But somehow the Christmas season weaves its magical spell, and for Frida and Oscar in their evening of their lives, the winter solstice brings love and solace. If you would like to send me any questions or comments about the book, please email me at mealsonwheels@seniorservicesalex.org.
And we're back. I'm here with Marion Brunken, Executive Director of Volunteer Alexandria, and we've been talking a little bit about her background, a little bit about the services and how they're organized at Volunteer Alexandria. But we do want to turn to what programs that you have for seniors. Are there special programs that you have that are targeted them? Do they come in and are broadly generally available for all opportunities? What slice of Volunteer Alexandria works for seniors?
Okay, and let me go back a little bit. So
Okay.
we are a community resource for volunteerism.
Right.
So we serve anybody who wants to volunteer. We prefer 6 and older because at 6 we found it's a really good age and getting started in volunteering, getting the sense of, oh, I give back and how it is. So otherwise there's no limits. Okay, well, I shouldn't really say that my oldest volunteer is 85. I don't think she appreciates that, but and she's great. So our core business is connect people 6 and
Right,
older.
right.
We do have a court-referred program. We work with the courts. We do have emergency preparedness program. We have a family and youth program, which we actually will expand because of the need in the community. And we have a RSVP Northern Virginia program, and that is basically
RSVP stands for?
You know, so back in the days, it stands for Retired Senior Volunteer Program.
Okay.
And it still does. But because, you know, seniors now, if you ask AARP, is 50. That means I'm almost there. Do I want to hear it? No. So RSVP for us stands RSVP to serve, respond to serve.
Okay.
And it's a very unique approach. It's basically a collaboration with Volunteer Arlington, Volunteer Fairfax, and Volunteer Alexandria. And we host the program in Alexandria.
Okay.
So RSVP really has a mission of getting 55 and older engaged in community to help the nonprofits and to make really an impact. So however, our system, you can volunteer no matter how old you are, not really affiliated with the program. But it has great benefits, but you know, nonprofits need us all ages.
What are some of the things about seniors that may cause them to volunteer? What do you hunt for? What are they looking for?
So from the nonprofit standpoint, we all love you. I know you're all older than 55. So we all love you, seniors, because it seems they have the time or they have the skills, and that's what we want. The reliability, the ongoing projects, you know. I mean, look at you. You've been doing this for how long? Right? So that's...
You mean being host of the show?
Exactly. You know,
Right.
you're a great volunteer yourself.
Right.
And so the nonprofits like that a lot. So we want that expertise and the time and
Okay.
the talents. So from the other side, I believe people want to give back no matter how old you are. But seniors, in the way, they want to feel like everybody else. They want to make an impact. They want to feel useful, especially if you are retired. You know, I have a lot of people that say, well, I'm retired, but now I'm bored. I did my 3 months of enjoying life, but what do I
Right.
do now?
Yeah.
And they don't want to, most of them don't want to just help with mailings, you know, or put the label on, which is
Right.
still needed in some
Right.
capacity. But most of them want use their skills. You know, somebody who has done volunteer management for 20, 30 years, they want to use that skill still. And that's why it's really good for us, nonprofits, and for any nonprofit to enter their need in the system again, because I can match them up.
I think also, don't they have discretionary time that they can spend it any way they want, and in the flexibility, and that's one of the beauties of you
Yes,
being
that's-
able to match them to something that fits them.
That's what I'm saying.
Some
the
assignments
time.
are, as you say, are
Yes.
events only. Some are
Yep.
weeks and months with a special relationship.
I mean, one thing which just changes, the RSVP is for 55, but a lot of people still work. You know,
Right.
so, but if you are 55 and you have the luxury of retiring and you want to do something, that's wonderful for the community.
Okay.
Definitely is.
Is there special screening, or do you look at disabilities? Do you look at the ability to drive? Do you look at health issues as your part of match, as being a broker?
So we don't, because as a broker, maybe I shouldn't use that term because we are not exactly a broker, because we don't do the screening unless you want to volunteer with Volunteer Alexandria in our office for my special events or whatever, for our programs. Then we do the screening. We do sit down and do an interview because, again, our goal is to make connections that make sense to you and us. So we leave the screening, interviewing, again, to the nonprofits because they have all different criteria. You may have to go through a background check, or you may need to lift heavy things, or you need to be good at writing. It really depends what their requirements are. Now, if they need assistance in developing those job descriptions, those orientations, we will be there to assist. But otherwise, it's up to the nonprofit to take that volunteer and do whatever you need to do with them.
Do you ever get feedback? You know, you made these effective matches. Do you ever get feedback in terms of, you know, program management or program improvement and so forth? Are you able to, did somebody say, I really enjoyed it? Well, most I suspect would say, thank you very much, I hope.
You would hope that, Jim,
we would
wouldn't
hope,
you?
we would hope. But do we ever systematically try to say, what can we learn from this experience, and what can we do to improve communication or placements or satisfactory experience?
So after being 3 years in the job, I realized we have to be better at that. So that's something we just talked about it, actually this morning too, that we have to be better at that. So you know how it is when something works really good, you don't hear about it.
Right.
You know,
Of
unless
course.
I meet the person, oh yes, thank you so much, you really helped us out.
Or
And
if they were unhappy, they would complain.
Oh yes,
and
absolutely.
Hopefully you don't hear many of those,
Exactly.
I suspect.
And we
so.
don't. So,
Right.
so that's a good thing, you know. But we hear it occasionally from nonprofits. Oh, I wanted to thank you. You know, you really helped me out, and I got the people. Or if I do see the volunteer saying, you know what, you really helped me out. I mean, I hear stories where 10 years ago I matched a person in my other job, and she's still there. And she has gone from a volunteer to running the place when somebody was sick. So those are success stories.
Sure.
But if I wouldn't have run into her and actually asked her, I would have not known. Nonprofits don't have a lot of time and to report back, and that's one of the things we have to be better at, in asking them. We need feedback so we know, you know, we do good work.
Let's try this. Here's a person that is new to Alexandria. They move in, they've got time and energy and talent, and they're hunting for something to do. And Senior Services, for example, has a friendly visitors program. They connect an adult with a person that's older and might welcome companionship. How would that show up on your screen, and how do you get them into friendly visitors? What are the steps that somebody that volunteered might expect? What do you do for them?
So Senior Services is doing a great job in recruiting volunteers. So our support is really to expanding the pool. So the almost 2,000 new people moving into Potomac Yards, they may not know of Senior Services yet, but if they type in volunteering in Alexandria, we are the #1 popping up.
Sure.
So they go to, oh, okay, let me check out Volunteer Alexandria, what is this? Then they search, let's say, I want to do something with seniors, so they type in seniors. And so if the volunteer coordinator has entered that need from Senior Services in our system, it will populate. It will
Okay.
populate the friendly visitors, the groceries, the end meals. It will show everything that has the keyword seniors in there. So then the person can read, just like the restaurant again, read what do I want, and they sign up. Then the confirmation will be sent to the nonprofit as well, to the volunteer. Thank you so much for your interest. And then the volunteer coordinator needs to follow up and say, wonderful, next step is, in this case, background check.
Okay. And that then would get a record in your records in terms of
Yes.
caseload and statistics for
Exactly.
performance. Sounds pretty straightforward.
It is straightforward. We encourage now the volunteer coordinator to go back and say, let's say Jim is a volunteer, go back in and confirm that Jim actually is a volunteer. That helps
Okay.
me to really say, oh, look, that's wonderful. From the 14,000 people that went to our website, 10,000 signed up, and 5,000 were really matched with an activity, and here are the hours.
You're kind of the glue that holds a community together. Well, there you go.
That's
We're going to have to stop now. We've run out of time, but I would urge people, from my personal experience, to, if you want something useful to do in a community, contact Marion, because they run a really good shop, and they will help you. And, you know, you'll help your community and yourself. So thank you very, very much for being with us.
Thanks for
Appreciate that.
having me, and I would say go to volunteeralexandria.org.
We want to, closing, I want to thank Marion for being with us. I've done that. But I also want to remind you that Senior Services had on March 16th in its speaker series is going to be on the topic of rich and rewarding life, including volunteering. And we're thinking that Marion should join us for that. That'll be at the Bethel Hebrew Congregation on Seminary Road in Alexandria. There'll be details posted on the screen, and if you contact Senior Services, they'll have that information. And
Yes, we will be actually on a panel. So, and that
Good.
information is also on our website under the RSVP Northern Virginia program.
that's terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you.